in the historic lawsuit challenging Wisconsin's marriage ban brought by the ACLU.
The ACLU of Wisconsin, Fair Wisconsin, and Freedom to Marry, along with the support and leadership of countless organizations in the community, in business, clergy, and individuals, both straight and gay, have joined forces to launch Wisconsin Unites for Marriage. Wisconsin Unites for Marriage is the name of this new campaign. It's an unprecedented grassroots public education campaign with one simple goal: to win the freedom to marry for all loving couples in our state. Wisconsin is ready for marriage.
In the next few minutes, we're going to hear from Dane County Clerk Scott McDonald, Judy Tramp and Katie Henning, plaintiffs in the ACLU's case, and Reverend Winton Boyd from Orchard Ridge United Church of Christ.
Well, welcome everyone. I'm Scott McDonald. I'm the Dane County Clerk. It's not usual to have both the plaintiff and the defendant at a news conference like this one, but I will say, as the defendant in this case, I hope that we rapidly lose this case later in August. It's time for Wisconsin to recognize all couples and all loving relationships. I'm confident, based on the cases that have come before the federal court, that that's soon going to happen, and once again my office will be able to issue marriage licenses. As you know, we had 215 same-sex couples get marriage licenses here between June 6th and June 13th. And I can tell you that the couples that have been waiting for 30, 40, 50 years to get married were so ecstatic and so happy to have finally be recognized, if only for that 1 week. And we look forward, and we're ready in my office, and I know it's true for clerks around the state, to start accepting those license requests again. And we look forward to that happening as soon as possible. And I'm very grateful for this coalition coming together as a united front to help bring that to Wisconsin, and hopefully, frankly, to the rest of the Midwest. So thank you all for coming here, and who's next?
Good morning, my name is Katie Henning, and this is my partner, Judy Tramp. Judy and I have been together for over 25 years, and we want very much to be able to get married. To be honest, before we won the case in federal court, we didn't realize how much marriage meant. Mostly because we could never let ourselves imagine it. It really wasn't a reality for us for most of our life. Now marriage could and should be our reality. We want very much to get married. To have public and legal recognition of our committed relationship is very important to us both. We are confused by the state's desire to appeal Judge Crabb's ruling. On one hand, they are stating how important the institution of marriage is, and on the other hand, they're saying that it shouldn't be important to same-sex couples. We are here to say that it is important. We want to marry for the same reasons as everyone else: to share a life together and to be there for each other in good times and in bad.
Now more than ever, I think about what would happen if Katie were to be in a car accident or have a life-threatening, or God forbid, a life-ending accident. In the eyes of the legal system, we'd be little more than two people who simply knew each other. After 25 years of commitment, living together, and loving each other, we'd essentially be nothing. Interestingly, we've been surprised by how many people have told us that they thought we were married because we've been together for so long. While Judge Crabb ruled in our favor, we still do not have the ability to get married, and again, many assumed that we now could. Clearly, there is a lot of work to be done in educating the public about marriage equality. Today, we are joining coalition members to begin educating Wisconsin about people like us who want to marry but cannot. I've lived most of my life in Wisconsin, and I know that the people of my state value liberty strongly, and we value the rights of others to live as they see fit. I know that once we begin to discuss this issue publicly, we will have the overwhelming support of fellow Wisconsinites. We, the people of Wisconsin, believe in doing what is right and what is fair. I know we will support marriage equality in Wisconsin once everyone understands. Please, let's begin this discussion.
Good
morning, my name is Winton Boyd from Orchard Ridge United Church of Christ, and I serve in a Christian denomination, United Church of Christ, which first ordained openly gay people in 1972 and first advocated for equality in marriage in 2005. I serve a congregation that publicly welcomed openly LGBT people in the full life of our community in 1993 and began doing same-gendered services thereafter. I can say without equivocation that my personal life, my community life, and my denominational life have been enhanced beyond measure by the gifts, talents, and devout faith of LGBT people. In fact, I could not imagine life without those gifts or that love. As a person of faith, I believe that religion should be used as an instrument of love and tolerance rather than to promote discrimination. What better way to foster love and progress in our communities than to support the commitment of two people to one another? Full inclusion of all types of couples into all aspects of our common life will only enhance the beauty, possibility, and hope for all of us. I seek to live as a follower of Jesus, and the one I follow was constantly encouraging and even demanding that people look beyond the small boxes in which they lived, constantly pushing the edges and borders of how love and justice and faith are understood. I'm grateful for his witness, grateful for the ongoing witness to this way of life from so many faithful LGBT people in my life. I join with people of all traditions and spiritual paths who believe that our faith dictates that we are all deserving of the same dignity and respect, no matter our color, our creed, our sexual orientation, or gender identity. I joined in the Wisconsin Unites for Marriage Coalition because I believe religion has the power to bring immense healing and understanding to us all as we learn, grow, and celebrate love in all forms. Thank you.
When you listen to these compelling stories, I don't think you can help but be inspired. The freedom to marry the person you love is a basic freedom that should not be denied to anyone. If adults can pay taxes, vote, serve in the military, and start a business, then we should not judge them. We should grant them the freedom to marry the person they love.
Wisconsin Unites for Marriage is a campaign dedicated to changing hearts and minds to move marriage forward for all loving and committed couples in Wisconsin. It's a public discussion about freedom, family, liberty, equality, and we welcome everyone's participation in this exciting campaign. If you want to get involved, you can visit us online at wisconsinunites.org, that's wisconsinunites.org, or on Facebook and Twitter at Wisconsin for Marriage. And now we'd be happy to take your questions. Thanks.
How exactly will this campaign work? Are you going to be holding other news conferences, reaching out on social media? How is it actually going to, how will you execute it on the ground?
Right. This is summer in Wisconsin. People are in Door County, in Vilas County. They're all over the place. So the question is, how do you best reach them under those conditions? So yes, there are going to be more press conferences today, including Milwaukee, Appleton, Eau Claire, and Crosse to help launch Wisconsin Unites for Marriage. But because of the timing that we have, with the oral arguments coming up on the 26th in Chicago, this is mostly going to be an online kind of campaign. I gave you the wisconsinunites.org website, all kinds of resources. People will be able to go there and find ways to express their voice, to show their solidarity. They can sign a petition. They can also use all the tools that have been created for social media and share information there. And of course, we want people to talk to their friends and neighbors. You know, word of mouth cannot be underestimated when it comes to showing that Wisconsin is ready for marriage.
Is this campaign basically a way to put pressure onto the state to drop its appeal?
You know, we have been taken back, frankly, a little bit about the obstinacy of the defendants and Attorney General Von Hollen in this matter. delay, motions that don't make an awful lot of sense. So we're dealing with that, but this effort really goes beyond that. It has many different elements. It's changing hearts and minds, but it's also recognizing that Wisconsin's ready for marriage because, you know, all the factors have changed. Public opinion has changed. You have business leaders, religious leaders, all of whom, you know, are said that they're ready for marriage. As the clerk has said, you know, clerks across Wisconsin are ready for marriage. So we're not trying to argue the case in public. You know, we're confident that the materials that we have for the Seventh Circuit to work on, Judge Crabb's very comprehensive, very compelling decision that she issued here at the federal court in Madison. You know, we've got that. We've got a very strong case. We've got great lawyers. But in the context, we want to make sure that everybody has a voice so that they can participate in this historic movement. And Wisconsin Unites for Marriage gives people that voice.
But what impact does public opinion really have on the actual court case? Because, I mean, the judge at the appeals will actually be making the decision.
I would be the last person to speculate about that. You know, the judges decide cases not on the basis of public opinion. Rights are not up to popular vote. But obviously the judges read the newspaper or listen to the radio. You know, they live in the real world. And so there is a context of the extent that that impacts on any individual judge, I wouldn't begin to know. But I think that it's clear that the momentum has shifted, legal developments are proceeding apace, and people want to be part of that. People want to have a voice in this movement, and Wisconsin Unites for Marriage lets them do that.
Are there any other questions? And all of our speakers with us today are also available to answer questions. All right, well, thank you all so much for joining us today.